Hey there, bibliophiles and those raising bibliophiles. Without ratings and warning labels, knowing which books are appropriate for your children to read is like navigating wild terrain without a map and a compass. I don't know about you, but I have been burned more than once handing my child a book that I thought was clean and appropriate for them to read. I'm a fellow mom, educator, reading specialist, and literary enthusiast trying to find great books for my children and yours to read. So if you're looking for a real review from a mom with a biblical worldview, then welcome and enjoy this week's book review. So this week's book review is The Sherlock Society Hurricane Heist by James Ponti, and it is book 2 in Ponti's newest mystery series. The story opens shortly after book 1. Summer is at its end, and there is a hurricane brewing. The society crew must return also to middle school, and really not wanting summer to end just yet, Alex persuades Lena and Yachty to look for Capone's treasure in one more location. After that's pretty much a bust, Alex's grandfather reopens a case from his youth for them to solve, given new evidence that the recent hurricane has uncovered. Now, before I go too much further, I want to just read a little bit of the opening of Hurricane Heist, just to give you a taste of the writing style. And like book 1 and the Frame series, Ponti is going to begin with a little taste of the action to come. My life was filled with countless embarrassing athletic failures. 3 errors in a single inning of Little League, a particularly bad air ball in front of my entire PE class, and a game of hopscotch that landed me in the emergency room. But none were as humiliating as being outrun by my grandfather. My 73-year-old grandfather. It was dark and we were sprinting through the woods, but the results would have been the same on the track at school. This despite the fact that he had an artificial hip, 2 heart stents, and a surgically reattached pinky toe that he liked to brag could still wiggle and everything. There were 5 of us running. My sister Zoe was out in front because she apparently inherited all of the family sport genes. Next came my friends Yachty and Lena, followed by Grandpa with me in the rear, which is exactly where I was in danger of getting bitten if we couldn't stay ahead of the angry security dogs that were chasing us. "Watch out!" Grandpa warned as he deftly hurdled a fallen tree in our path. I gave it my best leap, but as I pushed off, my left foot slipped on some pine needles, which severely lowered my midair trajectory. Can it be called midair if it's less than 12 inches off the ground? My right foot caught a branch that was sticking out of the trunk, and before I knew it, I slammed face first into the ground and was spitting out dirt. "Are you okay?" Grandpa asked as he helped me up. My lip was starting to swell and my front tooth felt loose, but I could hear the barking getting closer. "I'm fine," I mumbled, due to the swelling. "Let's keep moving." A few minutes later, we reached a creek about 8 feet wide. I was momentarily afraid that everyone else was going to jump over it, leaving me behind for the dogs. "Should we follow along the bank or look for a spot to cross?" Zoe asked. "Neither," Yachty answered. "We should get in the water and run right down the middle." Zoe gave him a confused look. "Neither," Yachty answered. "We should get in the water and run right down the middle." Zoe gave him a confused look. "Why would we do that?" "Because the dogs won't be able to track our scent," he answered. "He's right," Grandpa agreed. "It may be our best chance to lose them." "What about snakes and alligators?" Lena asked. This looks like their kind of neighborhood." They're a concern, but still theoretical," Grandpa replied. "The dogs, however, are very real. Besides, we don't have to go far. 30 or 40 yards should be enough to cover our tracks. Then we can cross to the other side and try to make it to the fence line." My non-participation in the discussion had nothing to do with a lack of interest and everything to do with the fact that I was trying to catch my breath without hyperventilating. When the others turned to me for some input, the best I could offer was a nod and a breathless, "I agree." And so I'll sort of stop there. They keep going. There's actually a rhinoceros on the property that kind of gets them stuck up in a tree. And then after that, the readers are actually taken back in time a little bit to when Grandpa himself was 12 years old and he was preparing for a hurricane that was hitting Miami. Working along his father at the time when he was young, he dropped off supplies to the local Moroccan hotel that was being used as the location and set for an upcoming movie. The film was to center around a jewel heist, but it soon became more than theatrical when the real jewels and art were stolen the night of the hurricane. Grandpa knew the main bellhop at the time, and even though he was the suspect and fall guy for the crime, Grandpa never believed it was actually him to have completed the heist. So, given the recent hurricane, bellhop Ignacio Gonzalez's bones are discovered in the debris that the hurricane uncovers. And that sort of spins off the tale as they are trying to figure out what really happened. So this fun installment of the series is full of fun twists and turns as the young characters and the readers get to learn about Grandpa's life and his professional history as it weaves into the story. The FBI agent who is working the case interviews Grandpa. He is also weaved back into the story now that he's retired, along with a group of other FBI agents who are retired. And they're kind of reliving their glory days as they're helping with the case and also helping the children as they're processing the clues and their theories. Ultimately, the real or likely cause of Ignatius's death is determined and the real culprits of the hurricane heist are uncovered. Unfortunately, due to the statute of limitations and the age of the case, no charges can actually be brought against the real culprits. However, Ignatius's name is cleared and a local clinic is named after him in his honor. The children add new members to their growing Sherlock Society, which they are super excited about. Parents will be happy to know that there's no profanity and nothing unsavory in the story. The children work through the ups and downs in their friendships. They learn how to be honest with one another when their feelings are hurt, and they continue to grow and develop their own specific talents. So far, this series is perfect for parents who want a clean, fun mystery the entire family can enjoy, and especially one that their middle grade readers will enjoy. So hopefully that is helpful to you as a parent trying to find which books are appropriate for your children to read. I absolutely enjoyed the second book for the Sherlock Society. I cannot wait for a third. So if you're looking for a great mystery read, I definitely highly recommend this series so far. And I hope that you will join me next week for another book review.